Tonight, our special transmission as rapper Saint Levant dedicates his Coachella performance to Palestine. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 192nd day since Israel started its indiscriminate war on Palestine. Palestinian Health Ministry says in the past 24 hours, Israeli strikes have killed 46 Palestinians in Gaza. 110 have been injured. Overnight attacks on a residential house in Rafah have killed 4 civilians. Rafah is a designated safe zone. In Jabalia refugee camp, an Israeli airstrike has destroyed a mosque and nearby homes, leaving numerous children and women wounded. So far, 600 mosques have been destroyed since the onset of Israel's war. Several Palestinians have been killed and wounded by ongoing assaults on Nusayrat refugee camp. In Beit Hanun, the Israeli army has encircled a school sheltering hundreds of civilians. The forces are throwing explosives and there is constant gunfire. Israeli settlers are escalating violence in the West Bank as more troops have been deployed in the area. The United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees says it has found a massive 450 kilograms of explosives inside schools in Khan Yunis after Israeli forces withdrew from the city. The death toll from Israel's war is staggering. At the time of writing, at least 33,843 Palestinians have been killed. A report by the United Nations estimates another 8,000 are buried under the rubble. 76,557 Palestinians are wounded. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas's attacks stands at 1,139. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has urged for full control over the Gaza Strip following Hamas's rejection of the prisoner exchange deal. Smotrich says there is a need to uphold Israel's red lines. He says pursuing deals with Hamas will only prolong the crisis. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has also condemned Hamas's negative response to ceasefire proposals. International efforts led by the US, Qatar, and Egypt are aiming to secure the release of prisoners. Calls for a ceasefire have intensified amid the war's devastating impact on Gaza's population and infrastructure. A previous deal in November saw the release of 81 Israelis and 24 foreigners in exchange for 240 Palestinians, including 71 women and 169 children. US lawmakers are urging the approval of a $14 billion aid package for Israel following Iran's attack on the country. 90 members of Congress, mainly Democrats, including a few Republicans, have written to House Speaker Mike Johnson for foreign funding bill. Pressure from conservatives has stalled the bill in the House. All parties condemned Iran's attack with calls for prioritizing support to Israel. However, Palestinian rights advocates demand enforcing laws against aiding violators of international humanitarian law. Last year, the Republican-controlled House passed $14.5 billion funding for Israel. US forces have played a key role during Iran's retaliatory attack on Israel this past Saturday. The US coordinated a multinational air defense operation extending across the region and shot down more drones and missiles than Israel. More than half of Iran's weapons were destroyed before reaching Israel. While details of US involvement remain undisclosed, the Pentagon has confirmed a coordinated defense effort involving the US, UK, France, and Jordan. Despite the confirmation, Israel claims to have intercepted the majority of Iranian weapons. US-based digital media The Intercept reports a US air office says half of the weapons fired by Iran failed upon launch or in flight due to technical issues. The US shot down nearly 160 remaining weapons. European command destroyers shot down more than 80 one-way attack on crewed aerial vehicles and at least 6 ballistic missiles. These were fired from Iran and Yemen. President Biden commends U.S. squadrons for their defense efforts. Iran says it has achieved its objectives and warns of a stronger response if provoked further. The National Council of Canadian Muslims has praised the Peel District School Board for acknowledging Nakba. Nakba is a significant event in the Palestinian calendar. It symbolizes the displacement and dispossession of Palestinians during the Israel-Arab War in 1948. However, board trustees say they have received more than 1,000 emails urging the removal of Nakba Day from the official calendar. The emails say recognizing Nakba Day is political in nature as it is against Israel's establishment. Critics argue that its inclusion means opposing Israel, which is an ally of Canada. Ontario's Education Minister, Stephen Lecce, has criticized the introduction of Nakba Day. Lecce says there is a need for apolitical classrooms. Apple is under fire for its iPhone's automatic suggestion of the Palestinian flag emoji when users type Jerusalem. Critics are accusing Apple of bias. They say there is an absence of similar suggestions for other capitals. British TV presenter Rachel Riley is calling the move a form of anti-Semitism. Jerusalem's status remains a divisive issue, with Israel claiming it entirely and Palestinians seeking its eastern part as their capital. Apple says the move is not intentional. It attributes the change to a software update. The company promises a fix in a future update, though the timeline remains uncertain. Jerusalem-born rapper Saint Levant has made a powerful statement at Coachella, dedicating his performance to the plight of Palestinians in Gaza. Coachella is an annual music and arts festival held in Coachella Valley in the Colorado Desert in the US. Levant has been partly raised in Gaza. He highlighted the ongoing suffering of his people, drawing attention to the 6-month-long genocide and 75-year occupation. His remarks sparked widespread support, with Palestinian flags and chants filling the crowd. Levant's personal connection to Gaza, including the destruction of his family's hotel, added poignancy to his performance. The artist included both old and new songs in his performance, including Deira and From Gaza with Love. The song Deira was released last month. The song is a duet with 15-year-old rapper MC Abdul from Gaza. It is dedicated to the hotel which Levant's father built when his family moved to Gaza in 2000. Song From Gaza with Love was released last year. Other artists like Tyler the Creator and Victoria Monet also expressed solidarity with Palestinians during the festival. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.